Today is March 8th. It's International Women's Day. Let's talk about every game happened on Friday, the March 7th. The first game is the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Charlotte Hornets 118-117. This one was a lot closer than we thought. The best team versus the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, both. Donovan Mitchell, a really weird game. 12 for 18 from the free throw line, 6 for 19, 24 points. Garland, I don't know at some point, this Cavs team, are they going to put the plugs on some of the starters? I think they already did. The record still matters to them, but maybe not as much because, they have the first seed in the East locked in. And obviously OKC, if they play OKC in the finals, it only matters if they play OKC in the finals. The probability of that is not exactly high. So many things need to happen. So, they kind of just resting some of the players. OKC already started doing that as well. They rested all their guys. So there is a concern. The Cavaliers and the Thunder. Thunder, they already have the first seed locked in too. Like, if you have Shea last week of the regular season, if there's a back-to-back, there's a good chance some of those players sit out or even get their minutes limited. So that's a concern. Mobley and Allen both did their thing. That's great. Allen had 5 steals and a block. Not much going on with the Cavs fantasy-wise. For the Charlotte Hornets, I think a lot of guys, we do need to pay some attention. Yusuf Nurkic, for sure. Every time Mark Williams is out, Yusuf Nurkic could be a good stream, even when he does get minutes, most nights he doesn't really perform. But he can pop off like this: 15 rebounds, 5 assists, a steal and a block, and 12 points. It's not popping off, but 15 rebounds and 5 assists is pretty good. Miles Bridges had 46 points, while LaMelo really struggling. Like, I don't know, you should bet his points under. He's like kind of hurt, and he's still playing, which is weird. 23 minutes, just 13 points, and had 6 fouls. You have Nick Smith Jr., like he has some value, but now he come off the bench, so if you have him, you could drop him. But now none of the Charlotte Hornets guys have a lot of potential. Right? Some guys could come in and score a little bit, but that's about it. There's not like a good fantasy player, a really good fantasy player, just sitting there waiting to have waiting to play minutes. The next game, 2 bad teams. They're basically resting. They're just resting their guys. And how about Walker Kessler? 25 rebounds and 8 blocks. Crazy. But he could get rested the next game. Right? That for sure is a concern with him. And Bryce Sensabaugh, like, he could score. He had 11 points in 23 minutes. He could score. He could shoot threes. He could get to the line. But only 23 minutes here. While KJ Martin, even though he got the start, didn't really do much. He only played 22 minutes. So it is a little bit, disappointing for some of these guys. Like, if you were streaming him, they got the start but didn't really get any minutes. While Kyle Filipowski had a good one. 17 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds and 2 threes. Yeah, he's a great fantasy player, I realized. I think he's a rookie. We obviously don't know anything about him, but he could score. And he's a center, so he obviously can block shots, grab rebound. Kind of like, Kelly Olynyk type of player, right? A center that can shoot, can get assists, can get some steals, can do everything. Isaiah Collier, I think he could be droppable because, he was getting 8 assists. Now he gets 6. If you need assists, obviously you have him, but he doesn't offer anything else at the moment, and the minutes is also low. Keontae George still get really good minutes. The percentages is absolutely horrible. 4 for 14, 8 assists and a steal, 18 points. It's fine if you're punting field goal and turnovers. He's somebody that could have, like, even though he came off the bench, he consistently gets over 30 minutes. Consistently. And he should have a lot of usage on this team because, everybody is out all the time. Toronto Raptors, they're also resting their players. RJ Barrett, Jacob Poeltl, both guys were out. So Orlando Robinson came in. Like, he could be a stream if Poeltl is out, right? Play 25 minutes, you can get some rebounding defensive stats. Emmanuel Quickly finally has a good one. 34 points against a bad team, of course. With no defense. That's great. 34 points, 8 for 8 from the line with 6 threes. And Scotty Barnes, also struggled from the field, but this is what we envisioned Scotty Barnes when we drafted him in the second round or third. 22 points, 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. That is pretty good. Moving on to the next one, you have the Grizzlies beating the Memphis Grizzlies beat the Dallas Mavericks 122-111. Ja Morant, really good game. 31 points, 8 assists, and a steal with 1-3. Yeah, like if you have guys on the Grizzlies, it's a good thing because they are gonna play their guys. They're trying to for better seeding, so they're gonna play all their guys until the end. So Desmond Bain, that's also a really good game here. 27 points, 6 assists with 3 steals and a block, and added 16 rebounds from Desmond Bain. Pretty crazy. He struggled earlier in the season, like he wasn't. Desmond Bain wasn't. I think he was hurt for a bit, right? Good to see him being healthy and balling out. Actually, he's been amazing the last couple of weeks. Santi Aldama, Jaren Jackson Jr. He might be out for a couple more games, so I think Santi Aldama for sure is a must roster. Even though he only got 21 minutes, and Brandon Clark, he got 26. Brandon Clark could be streamed with Jaren Jackson out for sure. Zach Edey only 21 points, so it doesn't look like Jaren Jackson out give him such a big boost. Not really, but he had 9 offensive rebounds and 3 blocks. If you need rebounds, you need some field goal. Like he's the guy, even though he only shot 4 for 11 here. But they beat the Mavericks, of course, because the Mavericks don't have anybody. And who is this Brandon Williams guy? He came off the bench at 31 points. Okay, we don't know who he is, but we know the entire Mavs roster is out. So the next couple games, for sure, he's a guy that you can look at. Like Spencer Dinwiddie, you should probably roster him. Max Christie, right? Even Dante Exum. He only played 20 minutes here, but the Mavericks got a good schedule, right? I would also pick him up because he has, one game he could pop off playing 30 minutes. It also depends on who is available on the league waiver wire. Like if your league is super competitive, you don't really have any good players. Like it's good maybe to take a stream, right? Stream Dante Exum just to see what happens. Max Christie, he was hot for a while. Now he's just kind of go back to, 3 for 11 here, only 8 points, but he also needs to be rostered just because everybody is out. And, of course, we don't need to talk about, Najee Marshall, of course. We have to roster him. 29 points and 17 rebounds is crazy. That's an AD-like stat line. Kessler Edwards also could be streamed. But from this game, it looks like, Najee Marshall for sure. He get pretty consistent minutes. But Brandon Williams is a guy that we should have. Max Christie is already on must roster. Kessler Edwards and Brandon Williams, it's okay to take a flyer on them, especially Brandon Williams. And of course Clay, he played 29 minutes. He tried. I think Clay is kind of stuck in all of this. Nobody's really talking about him too much, but he came here to compete for a championship, and Luka gets traded, and then Kyrie got hurt. And I don't know how many years his contract is up with the Mavs, but he's clearly trying to compete for a championship. So the Mavs maybe should do the right thing because Kyrie is not going to be back early next year. It takes like a year, so who knows? It's kind of like next year they're also cooked if they don't have a healthy Kyrie, and who knows what Kyrie's going to look like when he does come back. So the Mavericks is not looking good. They're not really contending for a championship, and Clay should, he deserves, compete for another one. So maybe go somewhere else. But he's really, Clay at this point is pretty washed. 6 for 19 here. In fantasy, if you need threes, you could still have him. The next game is the Timberwolves beat the Miami Heat 106-104. Yeah, the Timberwolves are 7th seed right now. They won 4 straight. Okay. They have the exact same record as the Warriors, and they are 3 and 4 games behind the Grizzlies and the Rockets. If they make a late push, if the Warriors are looking really good right now. Like if they make a late push, they can definitely catch up to the Rockets, who has been struggling. The Grizzlies, who has been struggling, right? The Lakers is just they're too far ahead. 6 games, with 20-some games left, it's gonna be super hard. But Warriors is super hard right now. For the Timberwolves, Naz Reid, great. Rudy is still out. So if you picked up Naz Reid, you're very happy because You know he's gonna score. He's gonna give you some defensive stats and grab some rebounds, and he shoots a lot of threes as well. Anthony Edwards surprisingly only took 10 shots. Very surprising. 13 points, 6 assists, and 13 rebounds, 3 threes. Maybe he's pacing himself. I'm not sure. Jaden McDaniels had an okay game, and Julius Randle had almost a triple-double. Yeah, this game, it seems very, very balanced across the board. Everybody did something. And one thing to note is that Dante DiVincenzo came off the bench and he played 31 minutes. He had 15 points, a steal and a block, and 3 threes. That's actually pretty good production from Dante. Dante is a must roster. I don't think we need to really debate too much. A lot of threes, a lot of steals, right? Decent scoring as well. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker with everybody back, like we could drop him. For the Heat, they are also I don't want to say tanking mode, but they're just playing. This year they probably had. I feel like every game they have a lot different lineup. Literally every game. Wiggins has been out, right? Kel Ware is also out. So who they play? They start Kevin Love, play him 10 minutes, and then play Ben Adebayo 43 minutes and Tyler Hero 39 minutes. Of course, both of them had a really good game, especially Tyler Hero with 2 steals and 2 blocks and 4 3, 7 assists. Tyler Hero has been really good this year. Very consistent all year. Very, very good. Davion Mitchell is a guy that, yes, we should be rostering. 10 assists here. The minutes is really good. Yeah, we need to roster him. Moving on to the next one, we have the Portland Trailblazers and Oklahoma City Thunder. This is a low-scoring game. Even with no Shea. And, Portland is not a bad team. This Portland team, they are, record-wise, if they are in the East, they could make the playoffs. They could make the play-ins. And obviously, they play way tougher teams than 76ers did, just because they're in the Western Conference. They're going to play more Western Conference teams. They're just way better teams in the West. For Portland, Fernie Simons still getting bulk of the minutes over Scoot Henderson, but Scoot Henderson also had a decent game here. I would say 22 points with 3 assists and 4 rebounds and 2 3. That's not bad, right? If you need some assists, some defensive stats and some points, Scoot Henderson for sure is a guy that you could have on your team. Shaedon Sharpe has been getting starter minutes. 19 points is okay. And we have Jeremy Grant back, but we don't have Danny Advia. Jeremy Grant, 24 minutes. Honestly, Jeremy Grant could be droppable for sure. He's in and out of the lineup. They have nothing to play for. They obviously want to develop their young players. Like a Tomani Kamara, who's, again, even though he didn't shoot the ball well, 2 for 13, but 10 rebounds, a steal and 2 blocks. Overall, still not happy, not thrilled to see him go 2 for 13, but he still contributed in multiple categories. And Donovan Killigan had 12 rebounds and a block. Honestly, I expected more out of him, but it is what it is. He's still starting getting minutes, so he remains a must roster. You just hope he will have, a game like Walker Kessler just had, 20 rebounds and 6 blocks, right? You're just waiting for those games to happen. It should happen versus a bad team. It would come. But he hasn't really been doing much. Again, OKC is going to be very hard. So that really tells you how good this OKC team is, and the coaching. They don't have anybody. Now they have Jalen Williams, who had a triple-double, by the way. So next time, if everybody's out, we should probably prioritize streaming him, right? And probably Aaron Wiggins, who had 30 points. My God. And Isaiah Joe for sure is. We should definitely stream him if the same situation happen next time. But that's what I'm saying. You just have guys like this. The coach is very well. It doesn't help with Shea's MVP case. When your team is winning like this, not just you, the whole starting 5, literally the whole starting 5, none of them played, and they beat Portland by 20. How do you explain that? Just imagine the Lakers or Denver. I don't know. And they beat Portland by 20. That is no joke. So they got really high quality players and very well coached, right? But next time we know, okay, Wiggins, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Joe, those are the 3 guys I'm going to prioritize, right? Also Kendrick Williams for sure. He's also a pretty good fantasy player. But really, you're only gonna get one game out of these guys because guys, they're not hurt. They're resting. The next game is kind of crazy. The Denver Nuggets beat Phoenix Suns 149-141. Yeah, no defense was played this game at all. And this game went overtime, sure. And of course, Jokic is being ridiculous. 30, 20, 20. It's helping his MVP case. And then when OKC wins by 20 with no shade, it doesn't help his case. If I'm a voter, right? Like last night told me, okay, OKC is just a really good team, well coached, right? They can blow teams out by 20 without a single starter. For Phoenix, Devin Booker 34 points, 5 threes, 7 assists, 2 steals, and 6. It's good. KD played 45 minutes, had 29 points and 3 threes. They are putting up good numbers. Bradley Beal played 41 minutes, had 9 assists, not much else. They're putting good numbers, but they're not winning. And with Bradley Beal starting, Tyus Jones for sure is a droppable player. I mean, if there's a back-to-back, you could stream him for some assists. That's about it. Mason Plumlee and Nick Richards, they continue to split the minutes. None of them is a must roster, but if you need some big man stats, you could stream them for a game or two. For Denver, we just said Jokic this is the first time somebody had 30 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists. What he's doing right now, stat-wise, is historical. And also because he's a center that can really pass the ball, he's just gonna break a lot of records, right? No center. How many centers? And forget about a 30 point, 20 rebound, 20 assist game. Like how many centers had over 20 assists? How many centers? I don't know. And how many times has it happened? It's crazy. I know this game went to overtime, but this line is just ridiculous. Now looking back, compared to hindsight, right? Victor Wembanyama, I still believe he has higher ceiling because the blocks, right? He could, at any game, he could go up for 7-8 blocks. Jokic just can't match that. That category, like 7-8 blocks is like dropping 100 points. That, the impact of that is just too much. So it just, overall ceiling-wise, right, Victor Wembanyama is higher, but Jokic just provide more in each category, other than blocks, and more consistent and healthier. So, yeah, just pretty great stuff. And also Denver, they kind of just need him to do everything. Jamal Murray only 19 points, 8 assists, and 3 steals. Like, okay, Christian Braun had 25 points. Yeah, he's probably just wide open all the time. Aaron Gordon also hit 7 threes. Yeah, Denver shot the ball really well. They shot 52%. I guess that's why they scored 149 points. Phoenix also shot the ball really well, but yeah, just too bad. I mean, if you have KD, if you have a Devin Booker, I'm not worried about this week or next. But 2 weeks from now, when there are like 10 games left and Phoenix is 7 games out of the play-ins, I think they're going to rest them. Yeah, now they're going to play him. They're going to play them very, very hard because they're still within the striking distance for sure. Actually, they are, because the Mavericks are going to be out. They're going to keep losing, right? That opens the door for Phoenix. So maybe, it's good that, they'll make the playoffs. So at least the Phoenix Suns guys, they're gonna squeeze in a 10th spot. And they could be dangerous in the playoffs. They could be, because they still have talent, at least offensively, just defensively, no good. Speaking of the Western play, Spurs with Wembanyama healthy, they were going for that playing spot. Now they're just losing games. So how many minutes did they play CP3? They still played CP3 28 minutes. Yeah, I mean, they already reduced his minutes, but they should honestly just give more minutes to Stephon Castle. Let the young guys run the show. And maybe, who knows. De'Aaron Fox, he has not been healthy. Another poor game. 16 points and 8 assists. Devin Vassell hit 2 threes, 3 steals. A really good game from Vassell, actually. 3 steals and 2 blocks. But Stephon Castle, if he's still on the waiver wire somehow, pick him up. And, if they start resting CP3, right, some minutes might be more minutes might be open up for Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson, for these guys. But these guys, they're not good fantasy players. Like, if they're getting 30 minutes, sure. Like, If I need some points, some rebound and threes, maybe I stream Keldon Johnson, right? Jeremy Sohan kind of just give you a little bit everything: rebound, assists, steals, and blocks. But they're not like amazing fantasy players. And I'm just very surprised they're still playing CP3 all these minutes. For the Kings, this is a great win. I think they're gonna be in the plays at the very least, and they're gonna be fighting. Trying to get a 6 seed so they don't have to play any plays, or at least 7 or 8th, right? So they only need to win one game to make the playoffs. Valanciunas is a must roster, so it's okay. Like, Sabonis is out. This is why they got Valanciunas. Just imagine Valanciunas is not on this team. Valanciunas, he only played 27 minutes, but look at his line: 12 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals and a block, and 15 points. Amazing, absolutely must roster. Zach LaVine having a good time: 36 points and 7 threes. And with Malik Monk out, Keon Ellis is a must roster or must stream for defensive stats: 4 steals and a block with 2 threes. Pretty good. DeRozan had 22 and the Keegan Murray had 19. Yeah, this Kings team, Keon Ellis is a must roster as long as Malik Monk is out, and Valanciunas is a must roster as long as Sabonis is out. Who knows? Sabonis might be out for 2 more weeks, and Valanciunas could legit put up top 30, 40 numbers. And this is the art of picking up a player from the waiver wire and basically getting a top 30 player. The next game is the Knicks lost to the Clippers. They don't have Jalen Brunson because he got hurt versus the Lakers the other night. And it's, Cat had just not been good. 8 for 21 here. 23 points, 10 rebounds is good, and 3 threes and 2 steals. But Cat was a top 10 player for the most of the season. He definitely was not a top 10 player in the last month or two. And I don't know, maybe the minutes is too many minutes, right? Get to the end of the season, he's already kind of breaking down a little bit. Mikal Bridges, a good bounce back game, I would say. He had 6 points the other night in 40 minutes. 22 points and no 3, 5 assists is good. Miles McBride, yes, he's a must roster at the moment, in my opinion, because Jalen Brunson is going to be out for multiple weeks, and they have to play somebody. And Miles McBride is going to get minutes, and he's going to put up points, assists, and threes. OG and Josh Hart, yes, with Brunson out, they probably even get more minutes now. Josh Hart is just ridiculous, 20 rebounds here and 14 points, and OG Anunoby, after having a good one, only 2 steals and a block, and not much else. For the Clippers, yes, they need to win games, and I will pick up Bogdanovic for sure if he's still on the waiver wire. I'm looking for the threes and points and assists, but he got 12 rebounds here. That's good. James Harden, he's turning back the clock. He had 50 points the other night. This game, he took 20 shots, 27 points, 2 blocks, and 7 assists, and 5 threes. Got to the line 8 times. Harden is just doing Harden things, right? Take a lot of threes, get to the free throw line, get assists and defensive stats. Great. I'm very happy with Harden this year, to be honest. He's how many games did he play? Like he was barely hurt. Kawhi played 37 minutes. He also struggled, but that's fine. They got the win anyway. And Batum had a big game. I don't think Batum is gonna get consistent 34 minutes. Meanwhile, Chris Dunn, if you need assists and defensive stats, he'd give you exactly that in his 29 minutes. Amazing. 3 steals, for sure, that could be more, but 2 steals and 2 blocks is absolutely huge. And Zubac still doing his thing. That's it, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.